last year for different conventions. With Event, Citizenbrick put out one minifigure for San Diego Comic-Con and 3 for New York Comic-Con. Looks like this trend is going to be continuing into this year, with CB releasing 2 very cool character concepts for San Diego Comic-Con again this year, with Event being this Comic-Con goer to match the one from last year. You also get the guy from Operation, and 3 very unique designed minifigures that sort of match one of their older releases, being based on sketches on basically lined paper minifigures here. Each one of these has a very unique design, and I guess all 3 of them were designed individually by the 3 of Joe's children. So very special there. I'm very excited to actually take a look at these, so let's go ahead and check out the packaging first. And I was very excited to see each of these basically having very unique packaging and in their resealable clamshells, so you can put them back in if you wanted to for displaying them. And they all match kind of the theme of the character. All 3 of the sketchbook ones come with the kind of stereotypical notebook cover. The Operation guy, or healthcare enthusiast, matches the box of Operation, the board game, and the halftone sort of printed comic book look for the San Diego Convention Enthusiast is also thematic for him. I'm going to guess on the back, though, all of them are going to be pretty much the same, with Citizenbrick San Diego 2024. Each of these minifigures is going to be pad printed just like Lego and should use official Lego parts other than, I believe, the Operation guy, who has the one special molded part being, I guess, the saw and also the nose, so 2 molded parts for that character. But quality of these are going to be awesome. Loving the designs just on a quick glance here at the packaging. Very excited to jump into it, so let's get one of these minifigures on the stand. And we'll just start off in the order that these were kind of released in during the live stream. So we have the Comic-Con convention goer, basically, representing a bunch of different franchises. We got DC with the Batman mask and cape, Harry Potter with the wand, and then of course Spider-Man with the legs and the torso. Front of the torso has some stomach showing, the VIP badge covering the Spider-Man logo to cover them from a little bit of that copyright infringement. Batman cowl has spider webs on it too, to kind of tie the whole look together, so I guess they're kind of cosplaying as an amalgam sort of character, combining Batman and Spider-Man, which does match the character they made last year too, which also combined Batman and Spider-Man, so you can kind of swap some of these parts around, make a fun fig barf. No printing on the back of the mask, and then under the cowl it is a head with some nice stubble, glasses, and then it has the white bar printed across, which Lego does for their own Batman minifigures. One thing to point out, though, is when you have the mask on, the glasses and face sort of peek through on the bottom of the mask, which I guess is fine. You know, people's Comic-Con costumes aren't always the perfect representations of the characters they're trying to be. It is kind of funny to have the wand tossed in, since that is kind of just like a random third-party sort of character trait where it has like Harry Potter wand. I guess you could use it as a walking stick or something, or a cane. But that's just the official Lego wand piece. Flipping the cape around on the back of the torso. Let's see what is there. And looks like it just continues the Spider-Man suit, but actually has a zipper too, to actually show how he would put it on. So that's kind of fun. I like the concept here. I know some people are like, oh, they're bullying people like this, but that's fine with me. I think this and the other Comic-Con minifigure from last year really go together well with the Times Square Elmo, to have all of those together. And I guess comparing this one again close, you can see the VIP badges are the same, but they're not positioned the same way, so no reuse there. And let's go ahead and switch around some of these parts and combine the 2 minifigures, starting off with the Batman mashup. Here is this. Can't remember if there's anything on the back of this torso. I don't think there was. Yeah, just blank. Still has all the other accessories on. But I guess you could switch out the Batman cowl to be a normal black one instead of being the spider web one. But with all the other accessories on, I guess it still kind of adds to the effect of having just the overall costume there. And it's kind of cool to see them printing the superhero parts. I know they've talked about this being one of the franchises that they want to avoid making minifigures of, but glad to see it here. And the Spider-Man one here is basically just a full-on figure you can have. It's a little unfortunate the torso here that is new uses dark red lines Then the mask uses black, so you'll have some color inconsistencies here where both parts don't have the same sort of line colors. But I would say design-wise and design key-wise is very consistent and would fit together very well. Kind of enjoy the like blue transitions on the back where the shaping is a little bit oblong and not super like straight. So that's kind of a cool little design detail there. Zipper looks cool as well. And again, just very fun concept for minifigures for both combos, and it is fun to be able to switch the different parts around. With that being said, let's jump into the sketch minifigures. And we'll start off with the one that I would say is probably the cutest, with the most kind of fun and cartoony drawings on it. You know, you got a taco, got a banana, some cake it looks like, a crab. Just a bunch of fun little drawings. I guess another grab at the top there with a hat. Ice cream. So one of those minifigures, you look at it every single time, there's something else popping out at you. Not going to call out every little detail. Obviously, you can kind of see them as I'm rotating it. Best part about this minifigure, though, is it has side and arm printing as well to continue the sort of lines on the piece of paper. Since this is basically what if a kid drew on a piece of paper, printed on a minifigure, you got the pink sort of margin line going all the way from the feet to the top of the torso. So that is a cool little detail. And I guess on the head too, you can see that the lines basically continue 360 around the head. So that is done very well. There might be just a little bit of white where it doesn't go completely around, but the fact that they did do the side of the heads a little bit more than like what Lego would do is very impressive. Nothing's going to be printed on the side of the torso, but that is okay. They don't usually print side torsos anyway. But getting to the back, I think all three of these minifigures will have the same sort of design, where it's the citizenbrick logo in a very sketched sort of look, where you just have hatches to add the sort of black barrier around the citizenbrick name, the margin line showing again. So I just love the concept of the paper minifigures here. I know they've done these in the past, but I don't have any of them in my collection. So getting them now in this case for basically retail is perfect for me. And this is a very cool design. Let's jump to one of the other ones. And I would probably say this one is maybe my favorite design, since it reminds me a lot of Napoleon Dynamite with the Liger kind of drawings that he does in that movie. Of course, this one is very Dungeons and Dragons themed, it feels like, where the head makes it a Cyclops, but also reminds me a lot of the Beholder, I believe, from Dungeons and Dragons. You get a wizard, goblin, skull, snakes, and then barbarian dude with an axe. Love the colors on this one, where it has the red to imply some blood all over the place. And I believe really dark blue for like a blue pen. So I think the color combo there is great. Overall, though, design's going to be very similar. I did notice as you like bend the legs, there's the same distance between the lines as you bend them, so you can still match up the lines going across the page as that happens. That's a nice little detail. Of course, the top of the leg isn't going to be printed, so you are going to miss some of the lines. They'll break up a little bit. But design-wise, really loving the drawings here and the color combo. Like I said, I think this is a very fun concept, and the overall composition, very cool. Like I said, it reminds me a lot of Napoleon Dynamite, so I think that's why I like this one. For the last sketch minifigure, I feel like this one's kind of sharing some elements with the last one. Same sort of like death and destruction. More fun little designs, like there's the killer rabbit, it feels like. You got the pentagram, some more bloody swords and creepy faces. I saw somebody comment that the face on this one kind of reminds them of the JoJo Siwa makeup, and I thought that was really funny. Little devil on the leg, some bones. So lots of fun little details, like I said, for the other ones. Back, exact same as the rest of the sketch minifigures, which makes sense. Only got to change the front. Obviously, you'd love to see more Easter eggs on the back of the head or the legs, whatever. But love the arm printing still. Love the legs also being printed all the way around. All three of these are a great little set, and it's kind of cool that he let his kids design the drawings for these. I know he's done that in the past with some of the animal torsos and what his kids would want there. And just a great collection of three very unique concepts very glad to have all of these, and let's move on to the last minifigure. And I think this is the one that sold the highest quantity during the event, being the Operation guy here. Obviously, the funnier designs. I think concept-wise, this really kicks butt. It reminds me a lot of the Cannibal Enthusiast as well as their Party Enthusiast minifigures with the same sort of concepts. You got all the different fun drawings and things labeled. With the minifigure, you get this really nice surgeon saw, which is custom molded by CB, I'm pretty sure. So that's nice to get and very thematic. Would have been nice to get some tweezers with them too, but I'd rather have the more unique accessory there. Again, also the nose is custom molded, where it is kind of that transparent red, which would be nice for the character. And the drill hole goes all the way through the head, so you could, in theory, put a light into the head and make it glow. Different little details on the torso include bad blood, broken heart, weird hair, random gun violence with a bullet hole, beer gut, dog bite, ED, low T, phantom limb there with basically a Pac-Man ghost, and then also shin splints. So obviously, just like the board game where it has the different parts where you would pull them out, not specific to the board game though, a little bit more humor and a little bit more adult, obviously, but gets the idea across. There's going to be nothing in the back of the torso, leg, or head. So that's a little unfortunate, but I guess, you know, for the most part, he is just laying on the operation table. But obviously would have loved to see additional details since this character is such a fun concept. But like I said, understand why they don't have more printing back there. Not much else to say. I am liking what they're doing here. Makes a lot of sense conceptually. It makes for a very fun minifigure when you're displaying it from the front like this. With that being said, let's go to the final comparisons and the final verdict. It's always really cool to see Citizenbrick do some really fun collaborations with different companies, and especially for these minifigures today, being San Diego Comic-Con exclusives and seeing them next to their other convention and Comic-Con figures. Just what a fun little collection of obscure and cool designs. Everything here on these sketchbook minifigures is just really cool and unique. It's very fun to see him translate different drawings onto a minifigure. Of course, when it gets to the more themed and licensed type characters, also amazing. I'm always kind of blown away by the printing that they can get onto a minifigure, and just their comedy is always fun. You know, sometimes it's a little risque and not super funny, but I can see what they're going for. You know, they do something like the Operation guy where it's very thematic and makes sense. I can look past it, and if the minifigure looks cool too, I can definitely ignore that. Same goes for all these minifigures. And getting to more of like the superhero stuff, like I said, that's something they said that they try to avoid, but the two different attempts they have had at those have been very interesting and just kind of build into your civilian collection, but of course also into your superhero collection. And I know for me, that as somebody that has the Lego modular sets, it's kind of fun for me to have the options for different characters that can be in my city, and if I wanted to do a Comic-Con build of some sort, got two attendees right here. And it's nice when they bring back certain concepts that they've done in the past, like these notebook type minifigures. Those were like Citizenbrick Day exclusives from way back. So I missed out on them. They end up being pretty expensive, hard to get, and getting new versions of those in some capacity is very cool and exciting. And maybe since they went through and made all these torsos and legs already, that could come back in some other capacity. Or on the other end of that, maybe this is the only chance to get more of these notepad minifigures. But let me know, out of the 5 new minifigures that came out for San Diego Comic-Con this year, do you have a favorite? For me, it'd probably be the Cyclops one or the Operation one. I think as a brand new minifigure, Operation for sure. That is just a really fun franchise and board game to get in minifigure form in some way. The molded nose on that's really special and goes to add a lot of value to it and make it more accurate, of course. And the Cyclops sketch guy, just really love the look of the drawings on there. Definitely the most cohesive out of the 3 different sketch minifigures, so glad to get that one. you want to see more Citizen Brick or custom Lego minifigure videos overall, check out the content on my channel. I've been Brick Ready Up. I'll see you in the next video.